Well, well, well. For saying that I was going to keep a consistent upload schedule, this is about as consistent as it gets. But, hello everyone, it is I, Bovine Productions, back with a video. I honestly don't even know what I'm doing at this point, but if you can't hear it already, I am trying to do well, I wasn't trying to do that, but it happened anyways. Back with a keyboard and mouse video with Pixels 2. I guess I hope everyone's year has been doing good. I know mine's definitely been a woozy. I graduate. I'm a senior in high school. I graduate here in the next couple months. It's very, very exciting because then, I gotta go get a job. Sorry about that. I gotta go get a job. Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta go get a job. I gotta go get one of those, J words, and then go to school premium, which just college, but you pay omega dollars just to get a sheet of paper that says, "Hey, I can do this." But that's gonna be fun. More sad news. I guess a little bit of good, a little bit of sad. Hoglin, otherwise known as Bale, will no longer be with us around when August comes around, because, well, since I live on a farm, we have to have everything be, oh my gosh, I whiffed that. Everything has to be at least somewhat productive. And, well, Bale had some piglets about a few days ago, as of this recording. And it didn't quite turn out the way we wanted it. Normally she has about 12 piglets, but she only had 4 this time, and it's very weird. Then again, she's also a big piggy, and she had 4 piglets. She squished one, unfortunately, and then the other one came out stillborn. But the 2 piglets that are alive, they are huge. Like, for piglets, like, they are big. So that is definitely one of the reasons why she had some troubles. It's because, big piggies, topping onto the fact that, you're a big pig, it's... Oh my gosh. It's gonna make it a lot harder. But thankfully she's alive, but she'll be turned from... Oh, I got that, I don't know how. But she'll go from Hoglin to Hot Doglin in about a few months, but at least it is when I go to college that she gets turned into Hot Doglin. But that's the saddest part that I have. I guess when the recent events I guess you guys have seen, or at least I hope you've seen. I would be very sad if you skipped these videos, but I had a powerlifting meet, a mock one, with a couple buddies of mine, because my senior project for English was about how powerlifting helps benefit you. And, I held that with a few buddies. Hold on. Oh, don't kill me. Oh, thank gosh. But I hosted that with a few buddies of mine. And, we had thankfully, the gym that I go to has some dude who's competed before. So I was able to have him come in and help mediate everything. And, it actually worked out for my favor. I PR'd on just about everything. So, actually, wait, no, hold on, let me lock in on this. No, no. Come on, come here. Come here. Anyways, I guess it's over squat, bench, and deadlift. And I'll be the first one to admit it. Bench is my weakest lift altogether. Like, it sucks. Oh, you... Bruh. Well, this just goes to show that, you know, this is the only game I have ever gotten all achievements for, and yet I somehow still managed to be insanely bad at the game. Oh well. But, I guess I figured out that I am very, very squat heavy and leg heavy, because, you know, I'm like 4 foot tall. There's, you know, I have, you know, 3 inches of range of motion for squats, so, you know, it's no wonder, right? But, oh my, I swear if I whiff one more one. But, that was fun. What all did I hit? I got a 440 squat, 185 paused bench, because there's a difference, and a 355 deadlift. I'm happy with those numbers, as all 3 of those are considered PRs for the lift. Well, for the lift, for the, I guess, sport, because there's rules. Like, for squat, the top of your knee joint has to cross below your hip, right? And for bench, it has to come to a complete pause on your chest. And I guess for deadlift, the bar has to be, your shoulders can't be rounded. There's definitely a lot more, but that's all that I know off the top of my head. Let's hope this works. I'm about to have something with fire. Will that work? I think it should. I might be cooked here, but well, it was fun. I think I came in second place somehow. You know, I went 9 for 9 on all my attempts, and you know everyone else didn't, but somehow I still made second place because you know you can't really make weight classes since it was, you know, just 3 people. You know, the guy that won like 130 pounds. So because he weighs less than me, his number will equal more. So it's whatever. How do I two-hand again? Oh my! You guys are gonna see me look at keybinds because I'm very bad at this game. Okay. Now I hope this works. Alright. So that straight up did not work. So weird. I guess I need to either jump attack it or have a fire infused weapon, and I don't have that. That makes this a whole lot harder. I don't really want to have you guys see me, you know, go somewhere just to get a weapon, because, you know, that makes this video a whole lot longer, and I'm already struggling to find things to talk about. I named those 2 piglets. You know, Bale is my pig, you know, and it can at least be me that names them. So there's a male and female. I named the female Bell Pepper to continue her legacy. And the little male keeps trying to get out of the little bin that we have him in, right? So I have henceforth named him Hops, which is also a plant. You know, bell pepper, hops, you know. I'm so funny, guys. Oh, I know what I could talk about. I don't know. You guys ever have Oh, I hit my mic. Sorry if you guys, think, oh. You guys ever have that one friend who just, lies about everything? And it's always meaningless stuff, too. Like, what are you gonna lie about? Like, why are you gonna lie about? Like, I guess for me, so it's more stuff that I'm into, so my friends are gonna be in it. Why are you gonna lie about, like, how much weight you're moving, or, like, how much you weigh? Like, I know it can all be riddled into insecurities, but what good does it get if you consistently lie about it, Like, will some dude saying, "Oh, dude, I bench 375 for two. Dude, I bench 375 for two." No proof, by the way. You call him out on it, he gets really upset, and that's the thing. If you call them out on what they're doing, they get really upset because they know they can't prove it. Like, I don't get it. Why are you going to try to make such outrageous claims, and then when someone calls you out on it because, it's blatantly outrageous, they try to, I don't know, they go to insults and kind of like try to act all kind of like what I say, like, freak you, man, freak you. Because, you caught them in a lie. And, they can't necessarily do anything about it, because, I mean, what are they going to do? Come up with non-existent proof? They can't. Because, I don't know. It's like fragile ego stuff, and it's hard to trust people like that when they lie about the most stupidest things imaginable. Like, uh, what's some other thing, since my life basically revolves around picking up heavy circles? Lying about, like, grades, I guess lying about relationships or stuff like, I don't know. It's just, people who lie about meaningless things are bums, and they're idiots. And I'm heavily leaning on the idiot part, because what are you going to do when someone figures out you're lying and you start losing your friends? I'll put friends in quotations because no one likes to be friends with a liar. Like, and this is kind of the pot calling the kettle black here. I mean, I've lied about random stuff too, but I lied about meaningless things. Yeah, I'm not gonna sit around and say that I don't, but I feel like what makes me stand out is the fact I don't do it that often. And the people that I'm talking about here are the kind that will, lie about the most random things imaginable consistently and expect it to work all the dang time. And it'll start to get to a point to where they'll say something that is genuinely the truth, and you're not going to believe them. And they're going to wonder why, and it's because everything that they say is just, a heaping load of malarkey, and it's just to the point where no one believes them anymore. And it's, okay, that is what you do. And at a certain point, I can kind of feel bad for him a little bit, because it's like, you don't have friends. You're seen as like that one, as like the weird kid and stuff like that. But it's like, at a certain point, you gotta start thinking, maybe they did this to themselves. Because, I don't wanna, I'm trying to find a way to word this specifically. There's a, uh-oh. No, there's a guy at my school. I guess I'll just say, if you know there's something wrong with yourself, like, I'm not saying like physically or mentally to an extent, but let's just say like you're some annoying odd dude, right? and you know you're annoying, why are you going to sit there, say that, oh dude, I know I'm annoying, but then proceed not to do anything about it, you know? And it's like, you gotta be kidding me. I went all that way to get a sword that deals fire damage to blow this up. And you're telling me that when I come back, it blows up. I'm gonna put fingernails in someone's cereal. I'm not gonna say whose cereal, but because, you know, I've had a few people say this before, you know, I'm not gonna name names, but how do I toggle? How do I toggle this? I didn't want to do that. Oh well. I had some guy, I didn't want to do that either. You know, say, dude, I mean, I know I'm annoying. It's like, if you know you're doing something that is hindering you, right? Like, it's bad. It is like a hindrance to you and the people around you, and will consistently make people not like you. What does it say about you when you know what you're doing, and yet you consistently refuse to do anything about it? You know what I mean? And I know I'm, you know, yapping, and I'm, you know, I'm just dragging this more than the low taper fade meme. But this is like stuff that's recently happened, and it's so mind-boggling because it's all this certain individual does. Like, to the point where their day ones dropped them because of the stuff that they do. And at some point, you're just going to have to learn. And what are you going to do when all of this hits you and no one's around to help you through it, you know? And I'm not trying to say, which I know I've been there before. Like, I grew up pretty big. Like, I was like the epitome of I'm the big chungus meme. Like, I was a biggin. I knew it was hindering me, and I did something about it. Did I take the best approach to it? No. But I kept my consistency, and I ended up a better person. Same thing comes with, you know, I'm gonna be the first one to admit it. 7th through 9th grade, honestly 10th grade too, I was not a good person to be around. I'm not gonna say I was like a racist or anything. I was just, you know, very annoying. And everyone goes through that phase, and everyone gets out of that phase because they realize, hey, you know, I'm kind of being a butt face. Maybe I should kind of, you know, not. And so you stop. Some people get that late, and you know, some people don't get that at all, and it's I don't really know how to word it. It makes me glad that I figured out what I figured out when I did. And it makes me even more happy that I had friends around that, you know, kind of said, hey, you know, cut that out. But you just have to be around the right people for that. And I don't know. I'm gonna beat this boss, and then I know I'm yapping. But like I said earlier in this video, I hope everyone's year's been good. I know mine has been, I know I said this already. I'll go more in depth. It's been, I'd say it's pretty good. Oh, ooh. So, I kind of said this as a joke to my grandfather, because, I was at my brother's graduation, because my brother graduated in December. And, I was, geeking around and half joked to say, hey, because my grandfather's, my grandfather's wife, so my step-grandma, her son, which I guess would be my step-uncle, lives in South Korea with his wife. And, I half-jokingly said, hey, maybe next time you go, maybe I tag along. Completely said it as a joke. Completely said it as a joke, by the way. Well, he took it seriously. So now I am going to Korea for 2 weeks over the summer. And if I'm going to be, the deadest of butt right now, I am looking forward to that most to, anything. Just, dude, I want to go. Like, I leave out June 16th, which is a week after my graduation. Dude, I'm counting down getting on that plane more than I am the actual graduation ceremony. So, dude, I can't wait to get out of that bum-ass school. I'd rather get on that plane, Like, it's my first time out of the country, and I'm just gonna have a ball. Because, military unk, I don't think he knows I even have a YouTube channel. But if he does, he might see this. He's pretty chill. He's cool. He's awesome. I guess that kind of reminded me of something. You guys might see in my lifting videos that I squat and do a lot of things in those ends or knee sleeves. I recently tried to somewhat, quote-unquote, wean myself off of them, and I did my first sleeveless squat session in a long while yesterday. No, not yesterday. Thursday with Marine Unk. He was there. I think I worked up to a set of 5 with 325. It honestly felt a lot. I'm not gonna say a lot better, but it was different, And it's a different to the. I wouldn't say it's a bad different. It was just a weird different. And I was looking at recordings of my squats from other times, and my powerlifting expert, sorry if you guys can hear my dog, he's yapping. He did say that I have a decent amount of knee cave, and I think he did say knee cave can kind of result from weak quads, and oh, and weak, oh my gosh, and weak quads will kind of weak quads will kind of make it kind of cave in. I don't know if it's a lot, but squatting sleeveless can kind of help add more direct strength to the knee. So I've recently been doing a lot of my accessories and a lot of my accessories sleeveless, and I guess I'll start doing my squats a little sleeveless now too. And what I'm going to do is, since that kind of made me mad, I'm just gonna run through everything. So I do it all the time anyways. Who knows, it might be harder with keyboard since I don't know how to jump. But I know this video is going on way too long. First video back and it's going to be pushing 30 minutes, You guys are welcome. But, do I have time for this? No. Oh my gosh, it is raining. It is pouring. But, it was, I think, 325. I do believe I could have gotten more if I had better equipment, because, there's a YMCA really close to my school, and there's another one that's about an extra 15 minutes out. And I try to go to the one that's a little bit farther away because it has considerably much better equipment. And since I'm a squat specialist, I'd rather not have a bar that starts having a noticeable bend once you hit, the upper 250, the upper 200s, low 300s, I would like for that because, it's personal preference and it's safety. Because, it's not like it'll happen to me, but, knowing my luck, the bar will bend. So, I would much prefer that did not happen. But that was good. It was a pleasant surprise to know that it was more than what I expected, because my best squat set at current is 380 for 5 with those, heavy insers on. And to have it drop only 55 pounds is it's still a somewhat big drop, but it's not bad. Like, I hit 405 for the first time in a softer knee sleeve, and I hit that 440 in those insers, and so I only really trained deadlift for that meet because I didn't want to get blown that far out of the water, which the only reason why that guy won and not me is because he weighs, 130 something pounds, and I had like 30 pounds on him. That's the only reason why he won. But I'm trying to focus more back into my goal to squat 500 pounds by the end of the year. So I'm going to switch it and start squatting twice a week instead of squatting and deadlifting once a week. I'm not going to wean deadlifts out completely. Literally, like, every 2 weeks, my regular hinge movement will be a actual deadlift. But I think I'm going to try, keyword heavily implied on the try, to record my leg day tomorrow, just to have another progress video up on the channel. And it'll actually be a sub 30-minute video. Wow. So I actually think that will do it for today's video chat. Why did I call you guys chat? Hope everyone has a good rest of their day / night, or whenever you're watching this. And I shall see you guys in the next one. This is Bovine Productions, signing out.